Okay, welcome to the first session of this Wargame campaign of the Uthium forces taking on the orcs and goblins that are bordering their areas and, you know, kind of harassing them. This is good, like I said in the first intro video. This is like kind of a small, like stepping off point to get my feet wet in the process of running a War Games campaign, and then hopefully it'll build into something bigger. I hope you enjoy it. I want to hear about your War Game campaigns. I want to hear about any War Games you're playing and if you've implemented them in your games. So let's get at it. I'm Tristan. This is Heroes and Homebrew. Okay, so first step, we need to come up with the movement of the troops. So I need to come up with 3 courses of action for the human troops and 3 courses of action for the orcs. Now, the orcs are technically in the defensive, but they are also aggressors. So even though the solo wargaming guide says you should have your, aggressors and defenders, I'm kind of going with like they're both sort of aggressors and defenders. The humans are sort of going on to the offensive to destroy the orcs so they stop coming into their lands and wreaking havoc. And the orcs tend to go into the lands and wreak havoc. So we're going to come up with 3 courses of actions for each group, and we're going to roll on the roll on the table. It's going to be, a roll of 1 to 3. So like 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. And we're going to see what movements are going to be done by each party, and we're going to go from there. So, okay, so here are the 3 courses of actions. Oops, I wrote regiment wrong. So we have move 2 regiments from Bright Song to the border, move 1 regiment from Warhedge to the border, and move 1 regiment from Warhedge to attack the One Tusk tribe in their camp. That's for the human courses of action. For the orcs have 3 different tribes. They are scattered out. So we're going to have either the One Tusk tribe is going to move to the border. All the tribes are going to join together at the Bone Axe tribe so that they're one large force. Or we're going to have the Skullbreaker tribe is going to push into the Uthium border. So let's see what we're going to do. All right, we have our map here. So we are going to roll a d6. A 1 to 2 is course of action number 1, 3 to 4 is course of action number 2, and 5 to 6 is course of action number 3. So for the humans, we're going to roll a d6. 5, so they're going to take course of action number 3, which is to move a regiment from Warhedge to attack the One Tusk tribe at their camp, which would be here. So the course of action is 1 regiment from here moves there to attack them. All right. I'm just going to go and highlight this on my other screen. All right, next for the orcs, you're going to take course of action number 1, which is the One Tusk tribe is going to move to the border. This is going to be actually kind of interesting because Warhedge regiment's going to go from their camp, from their town to attack the One Tusk tribe at their camp. The One Tusk tribe is moving to go into the border, so there's a good chance that these 2 regiments are going to clash in a battle. So we're going to see how that works out. Next, what we have to figure out is the weather. So the weather's not going to change much in the area, so I'm just going to make 1 weather roll. I'm using the weather chart from the Solo Wargaming guide. So we're going to start with a 2d6. And it's going to give us our starting day's weather. So 2d6. 4. 2 is a 6. We are November. So the weather is fair. Okay, so I'm going to mark that down in my Mithril Almanac. We're going to go here, weather fair. One regiment from Warhedge moving to attack one Tusk tribe in their camp, and one Tusk tribe moving to the Uthium border. So every time something happens on a particular day, I'm going to add it into this calendar, and that way every single day that something's happening within this war, we'll have a track of it. So now we're using one regiment. I need to take a minute and figure out what types of units are in this regiment. Okay, so I took a moment to figure out who is in this regiment. Each regiment is made up of 5 companies. Company is 150 men. Normally, you would have a regiment of just one type. So you'd have an infantry regiment, an artillery regiment, etc. For this, I've decided that we are going to sort of mix and match. So archers and heavy infantry and light infantry can all be in the same regiment. They're just split up into different companies. So there's 2 light infantry companies, 2 heavy infantry companies, and 1 archery company, which totals 700 men. Now, the One Tusk tribe is 100 goblins and 200 orcs. So they're overwhelmed. Well, not necessarily overwhelmed, but they are definitely outnumbered by more than 2 to 1. So this is going to be interesting. So they have the One Tusk tribe is 100 light infantry, which are the goblins, and 200 heavy infantry, which are the orcs. Now, the next thing we need to figure out is when does the defender mobilize in conjunction with the attackers? We are going to say that the humans are the attackers in this case because they are moving to attack the One Tusk tribe in their camp. So we have to figure out how much of a head start, if any, do they have over the orcs and their movement. So we're going to roll a d6. A 1. So they are mobilizing at the same time. So I'm going to say, edit this. I'm going to say One Tusk tribe mobilizes at same time as Warhedge regiment. There we go. Save. Next, figure out their movement. Okay, so in the solo wargaming guide, we have for Poor Road, infantry can move 2 hexes per turn. It says there's no cavalry. We're only going to worry about the infantry. We're saying that the archers are part of the infantry. This is solo wargaming, guys, kind of less medieval and more modern-ish, but we're going to adapt as needed. Good road, light woods, heavy woods, mountains, swamps, rivers, off-road. So they have blank hexes all the way to the border. Pretty much, if they keep moving, it's blank hexes, so open terrain all the way to the camp. We were going to say it's off-road, so they can move 2 hexes per turn. There is autumn 12 daylight hours. So we're going to say a turn is 1 day, so they can move 2 hexes. So we are going to move one of these Warhedge regiment, because there's only 1 regiment in Warhedge. They have 1 regiment and 3 militia companies. So they can move 2 hexes in a day. That's where they end their day. Now, the orcs, we're going to say that they can move the same. We're going to say 2 hexes per day. It's fair weather, so they're not being affected by that. 1, 2. Now, on the second day, they might clash. But what's going to happen is once they enter each other's hexes, we're going to have to see if there's a chance that they're spotted, which we'll go to Domains and Domination for that. So one rule that is in the solo wargaming guide that we are not going to implement right away is the commander competency rating. It's to say, like, how competent is this guy? Is he going to obey orders right away? Things of that nature. Right now, we're not going to worry about it too much. We're going to be using morale rolls for the battles and stuff, so that will kind of take over that little tidbit. There's only so much I really want to get involved with, and in the future, I might add it if I want to get a little more detailed, but we'll see what happens. So we are going to go back to our weather chart, and we are going to roll 2d6 yet again. Actually, I think it's 1d6. I might be wrong. Let me go check. Might be a d10, actually. Weather. It's 1d6. Okay, so a 1 to 2, move marker up. Down 1 space, 3, 4, no change. 5, 6, move marker up 1 space. Got a 4, so no change. Still clear skies. Still nice. See, they started here. I'm just going to put a little marker right here. That's where they started. And Warhedge is already marked. Good. Next, I don't want to say that they are going to go I don't want to say automatically that the unit from Warhedge is going southwest and automatically meet the orcs, or the other way around. I don't want to say the orcs are definitely going to turn and go towards the unit from Warhedge. So what I'm going to do, basically, they have 2 realistic courses of action. The unit from Warhedge can either go directly south into the forest or to the southwest. Personally, I think tactically it would make more sense to go into the forest to kind of keep their approach hidden maybe a little bit more. And, maybe the orcs want to go directly north to kind of keep their approach hidden a little bit as well. So for each one, I'm going to roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, the Warhead unit is going to go south. On a 4 to 6, they're going to go southwest. 4 to 6, they are going southwest. Now, in this same turn, are the orcs going to go north or northeast? So, a 1 to 3, north. 4 to 6, northeast. Going northeast, so these two are definitely going to clash. Now, which hex are they going to clash in? Let's say, okay, 1 to 6 is going to be this hex, the hex that the Warhead unit is in. 1 to 6. 1 to 3 is going to be the hex the Warhead unit is in, and 4 to 6 is going to be the Orc hex. So 1 is going to be in this hex. So they are going to clash. Boom, there. Now, do they see each other? This is where we're going to go to Domains and Domination. Okay, range of detection. So in planes, 3 hex miles, 1 to 3 on a d6. So nobody's elevated over the other. Do they see each other? Actually, let's say, does the Warhedge unit see the orcs? A 1 to 3 on a d6. They do not. Do the orcs see the warhead unit? 1 to 3 on a d6. They do not. So they actually, the two units actually pass each other by. So these are going here, and then they're going to end up turning that way. This is their 1, and then 2. So they managed to pass each other without seeing each other. I mean, it's 6 miles. Chances are you won't necessarily see each other, even on the plains. So what happened? They've crossed each other without noticing each other. That means that Warhead now has to rely on their militia of 3 companies. I believe that's correct. Yes, 3 company militia, which is only 300 men, so it's more of a even battle, but they're going to be under siege, and the warhead unit is going to arrive to maybe an empty camp. We'll have to find out. Okay, so those were the first movements of this campaign. The One Tux tribe and the Warhead regiment sort of passed each other by on the map. They didn't see each other. Now the One Tusk tribe has arrived basically where they wanted to be. They wanted to come inside the border. They are inside the border. So their next moves, we're going to have to go back to a list of 3 courses of action and decide what their next moves are. And the Warhead regiment is going to continue on into the next hex and arrive at the orc camp. Presumably, there might still be orcs and goblins there. It might be women and children. What are they going to do? We don't know. We're going to find out. But for this session, that's it. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you stick around and keep watching and see what happens with this whole campaign experiment thing of mine. Until next time, save a seat for me at your table.